Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 8, Episode 46, DJI status, another day closer. Hope everyone is doing well this evening. I'm going to greet everybody. Guys, we're Johnny on the spot tonight. Let's take a look here and see. Wow. Warren Akarasho, Joe's here, RP guy, Sergeant Rock. Let's see who else. We got Drone Angles, Steve Jeanette. Let's see here. John Flynn, welcome. Jaybird, welcome. Let's see who else. Gator Drone, welcome. RJ Redding, Carlos Moran. Let's see who else we got. Jamie Miller, John Rocker. Joni Oki, welcome. Casey Crime Fighter, welcome, my friend. George Kelly. All right, got a full house here tonight. Very first thing I wanted to do was this, okay? I did post this on my timeline, but I wanted to go ahead and do this again out on my Facebook group because on the 14th, it was my daughter's birthday. So happy birthday, Victoria. It was on November the 4th. November is one of my favorite months of the year. My beautiful mother-in-law was born on the 11th. My daughter was born on the 14th. And later this week, we're going to be celebrating the 104th anniversary of my birthday of my dad. Of course, he passed away back in 2007, but we celebrate every year because it's a joyous day. So, but again, happy birthday, Victoria. We love you very much. And Valerie and I are very excited because we're getting to go up to Ohio to see them right before Christmas. So it's always exciting going up there and being able to spend time with them. And we called her for her birthday, and my older granddaughter, Grandma, Grandpa on the phone, and just chatty Cathy, absolutely loved it. So, but we're looking forward to seeing them. I love my son-in-law. He's like another son. He really is. Just a wonderful time on the phone with them, and looking forward to a wonderful time with them. But I wanted to go ahead and start that off. We started off with my mother-in-law's birthday last week, which it was actually on Tuesday, and Victoria's was on the 14th, and we celebrated, and we're going to celebrate in person. We're going to get her out to her favorite restaurant when we get up there. So that's going to be a blast. We're looking forward to that. Ron's going to join me here in a little bit, and hopefully I think we'll have a very special guest at the bottom of the hour as well, too, to talk about his experiences with the Neo too. I won't tell you who. Okay, you guys will have to guess on that one. So, and another update. This is real good. Okay, last Wednesday after the show, these are my permanents. Okay, and just to give you a Reader's Digest version here, permanents are made out of zirconium. Okay, the temps are made out of basically plastic. Okay. And these are rock solid, not going to go anywhere, all that kind of good stuff. So I went last Wednesday, 2.5 hours in the chair. They take the old ones out, they clean up the areas, and then they put them in. And I thought I was good to go. And what they do different this time, though, is they put a cement on where the screws are. Okay, so it's like going to be rock freaking solid. And it was. The tech did a great job, all right? Well, come Friday or Saturday, started chewing and felt some vibration. And I'm like, this is not probably normal. I checked with ChatGPT. They said, you're fine, all that kind of good stuff. Then Saturday, it was like rocking and rolling inside my mouth, and not in a good way. And by Sunday, it was all over the place. So I texted my dentist's office and was able to go in at 1 o'clock on Monday. She took them back out. She said the problem is, with this brand, with the company that makes these, you can only hand tighten the nuts on them. You can't torque them down. You can't use a device to torque them down. They won't be able to do that. So, and what they're going to do is they're going to make me a night guard, because a lot of times it gets loose because of being a night guard. And I'm also going to really kind of watch very carefully what I mean. I'm not going to be ripping into corn on the cob or ribs or things like that. It'll really require a lot of your teeth, or chew a nice big juicy apple, that kind of thing. So okay, all right, Captain Ray, welcome. Thank you for stopping by today. So that's all the kind of housekeeping. Of course, Ron and I will be doing Steeler Nation at the top of the hour, so look forward to that. And thank you guys for sticking around for that. Ron and I have, you know what, that's been a real fun thing that I've really enjoyed doing with Ron. And because after the show, that's pretty much, Ron and I are on for another half hour or so, and we're talking football. I mean, that's all we're really talking. Some baseball and some other stuff, but mostly football. And we just, and see, we're 70s football junkies. We like we like to remember the good old 70s, and I'm sure a lot of you are probably in our age range. Remember, do the same there. So Art, welcome, good to see you. So yeah, we have a lot of fun with that. Okay, all right. Got a few basic articles that I'm going to talk about, and then the main topic tonight is going to be, and I posted it out on Build a Drone Facebook group. And this is an interesting thing. Okay, I want to share this with you guys. I set up for the show earlier in the day, get all the articles out there, post them to the group. Okay, so I'm setting up for the show tonight. And I start about 7:45. I'm going out to the group. None of the articles posted there, and I did post them today. Facebook is just, I don't know what's going on. I mean, it's just, and they took this time. I don't know why they didn't take the first time, but anyway. So that's neither here nor there. Okay, the first thing we're going to talk about tonight, and it's going to be, obviously, it's a DJI laden here. Okay, DJI has completely dropped global drone geofencing. It's everywhere. It's not just the United States. It's entirely around the world. So that update is available for everyone. You can read about this at your leisure here, but it just, why are they stepping back from it? Okay, it's obvious. I think it's kind of obvious why. The reason is they get into some articles here. Aviation authorities have robust digital airspace systems. Pilots are more informed. Regulations like remote ID and the LAANC make geofencing less necessary as an enforcement tool. So that's kind of basically it in a nutshell. So you guys are welcome to read that at your leisure, but I did want to call that out to you guys so you're informed about that. Also, to another programming note. Okay. Last week, I used StreamYard to do the broadcast, all right? StreamYard offered a new option, and I was totally ignorant. I didn't know what it meant, all right? Landscape, like you're seeing right now, and then portrait, which is basically more for like a phone kind of a thing, okay? Well, I didn't know that what it did was it created two separate broadcasts. So I apologize. Some of you were watching on portrait, some of you watching on landscape, and I apologize about that. We're going to be doing 100% landscape unless you guys really like the portrait. Okay, if I get a lot of emails, and if you're interested in doing that, okay, either drop a comment, after the video. So not in the comment stream right now, but after the video posts, drop a comment there or email me at buildadronereviewer@gmail.com and let me know. Yeah, Bill, I really like the portrait one. Can we do that as well too? So if there's enough, I'll go ahead and do that, and I'll also clearly mark which is which on there, so you guys know what's going on. So wanted to clear that up too, because I know a lot of you guys were like, "What happened? What's going on here?" So yeah, just that's kind of how that is. Okay. Well, the Neo 2's been the talk of the town, and we're going to get to that here in a little bit. But I also want to share that its sibling is on sale right now too. And okay, save $160 on DJI Flip Drone in early Black Friday deal. Okay. And I'm trying to see information about this here. DJI Flip with RC-N3 controller, $349. DJI Flip RC2 controller, 509. DJI Flip Flymore combo plus RC2, 619. Okay. And these are all, you can see the appropriate savings right here. And there are links in the article. If the Flip is something that is of interest to you, you can definitely go ahead and pursue that. I mean, it's a good price. If that's something that you would like to have in your drone stable, go for it. Absolutely, positively go for it as far as that's concerned. So, you know, not to be outdone here, all right, SkyRover, and I evidently partner with Drone XL, and they're having some sale prices as well too. So let's go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at that right now. All right. All right, SkyRover X1 drones now 15% off with an Amazon coupon plus Drone XL exclusive code here. And the S1 is basically it's like the Mini 4K Pro. Okay, Mini 4K. I'm sorry. All right, Amazon list price $349. 10% Amazon discount $34. 5% Drone XL code $17. Price before tax $296.65. And remember, this is like the Mini 4K. This is exactly what this is right here. Normally it starts at $499. So so you can end up getting it for price before tax $424.15. So so that's actually a pretty good deal. So if you guys are interested in doing that, you can definitely go ahead and pursue that. Now, you know, it's again, you know, it's a, you know, for what you will, a clone of the Mini 4K, and it's at a good price point. So if you guys want to go ahead and pursue that, you can do that. Now, let's go ahead, and there was another article about that as well too, and I'm going to go ahead and share that. Let me go ahead and get that up. All right. Now this is on both SkyRover drones here. And let's go ahead and share that. All right, Drone XL exclusive up to $40 off SkyRover X1, 50 S1 drones with Amazon Prime delivery through year's end. Okay, so they're offering a discount on the X1 as well. That's the yellow one. That's the one that I did have, and that's really like the Mini 4 Pro for all intents and purposes. And you can take a look here. For the X1, it's normally $664. You can save $34.95 off of that. With a Flymore combo, $759 with code, save $39.95 off of $799. And then we just went over the prices for the SkyRover S1. These are good deals, and this is before Black Friday, so you know, quantities are probably going to be limited out here for this. So if this is something that you're interested in getting, or maybe getting as a gift for somebody, you probably want to go ahead out there and do that now, because I don't think they're going to be, I don't think they're going to have a lot of stock. I think they're going to go out sooner rather than later. So, Dr. Ted, welcome. Good to see you. So yeah, so that's where so that's what's going on with that right now. Now, this one actually kind of surprised me, this article here. And it's really more a lot of hype than anything else. And there's a lot of hype, and it's the anti-gravity drone. Okay, this year's most awarded drone, and it's not DJI. There's Mr. Ron Brown. How are you, sir?
Hello, Bill. How are you tonight?
85 degrees today in sunny Florida.
Oh, we were pretty chilly today. We were maybe we got to 50, so it was much chillier here. But I'll let you get back to the show, and I'm looking forward to Steeler Nation later in the show. We have we got a lot to talk about. We have an injury to report, I believe.
We got a lot to talk about with that. That's for sure here. Now, this article here, the year's most awarded drone, and it's not DJI. It's anti-gravity. Okay, but you know, all it is, Ron, it's media hype about it, and you know, some very short clips of it, and you know, Red Dot 2025 applauded by AI's minimalist 240-gram phone and anti-gravity, replaceable lenses and retractable landing gear. Good design 2025, CES 2026 judges. You know, it's a lot of you know. I don't know. It's almost like they're paying them to say that. You know what I'm saying, Ron?
You know, Bill, that this drone was at the World Series this year.
Yes.
Yeah. Bill, I mean, I'm looking forward to it getting released. I'm looking forward to seeing the hands-on reviews. You know what I mean? Yeah, it could be good. It could not be good. I'm reserving my judgment when I see my reliable reviewers put it through his
Oh,
paces, Bill.
I agree with you 100%, Ron. You know, 100%. Absolutely no doubt
I'm
about that.
trying not to pre-review the drone before I actually, see it in the hands of tested reviewers.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That seems to be really, really, really important here. That's, and I just can't help but think, there's a lot of money exchanging hands with all this right here, as far as that's concerned.
You think it's a big well, we'll say the publicity machine is behind this drone.
Yeah, yeah, they're putting a lot of time and effort in here to a drone that really, I mean, they had like a meetup and had some high-end reviewers come and look at it, could fly for maybe like 5 minutes and then that was it. But they could never process the film or do anything with that. It's just,
Yeah,
I don't know.
Bill, all I can say is they better get this to market before DJI releases that Avata 360.
Yeah, yeah, because that'll really take up a lot of their space here. So hang on a second here. I gotta replug my mic back in.
Yeah, that happens to all of us. Those USB mics. But yeah, folks. I mean, I think this, is a very interesting concept. I wish Insta360 and anti-gravity a lot of luck with this. I hope it's the product that, they're kind of hyping it up to be. And I mean, I think it has potential, but I don't want to be too positive or too negative about it quite yet.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way, Ron. I really don't want to be too positive or too negative about it, and it seems, yeah. The
I mean,
my and
we haven't heard this about this drone, but the DJI, the 361, the rumors is that you could fly it not in 360. You could flip that off and just fly it like a normal Avata. So, I mean, that's kind of a leg up that, that it doesn't have to be 360 all the time. And also rumors of the DJI drone is you can also fly it with a standard controller. So that's going to
yeah,
open up a lot of things. A lot of people, even just the regular Avata, a lot of people said, well, they'd have bought the Avata if they could fly it with a regular controller. So now we're going to get supposedly, again, this is all rumors, folks, nothing set here, but we're going to get an Avata type of drone that not only has 360 capabilities, but also you can fly it with a standard controller if you don't like goggles or whatever. So we're kind of getting almost like in a Neo type of thing, Bill, a drone with a lot of versatility, right?
yeah, yeah. That's exactly what it is, and it's like I said, I don't trust anything until we see it.
Right. I mean,
You know,
we with drones like the Neo 2 and Mini 5 Pro, we kind of knew what we were getting, incremental upgrade to what we had before. It was no surprises. But this is something we haven't gotten in our real little drone space for a long time. A completely new type of drone, right? Something we
yeah,
have we don't really have a basis to compare it to previously. So it's kind of like the undiscovered country here.
exactly. We've had, we minis built upon minis, the Airs built upon the Air, the Mavics built upon the Mavics. I mean, we've seen that progression. So, but in this instance, this is a groundbreaker here. So yeah, it's groundbreaking, but you know what? Let's see how it ends up in the hands of actual reviewers. Let's also see, not only flying it, but let's also see processing the video from it. Let's see how that goes. Because there's a
that being
lot.
said, Bill, I did, so far I've kept my $500 for the Neo 2 in my pocket, thinking, well, wait a minute, why don't I just wait a little bit? I may have something more interesting coming up that's just down the road. And with the first Neo, that was only like 200 and what, barely over $200. So that was an impulse buy. But now that's $500 to kind of get the whole kit you need. That's not an impulse buy anymore.
No, it's not. And it's, it's one of these, well, that's going to be mighty, mighty, mighty interesting to see how things go with that. So let's go ahead. We're going to move on to the Action 6. Now, as you guys know, it premiered today. And one of the things that I did was, and I want to see if I can find that. Here, I got another. Facebook's been real interesting because the articles that I post out on my Facebook group, I don't know where they went to today. I have absolutely no idea. It was it was just interesting. Now, what I did was, I put a post out here, and what I did was I went out today and I looked on eBay, and I also changed the DJI site for me to Canada to kind of get some prices. Okay.
Right.
Now, we're showing prices here for everything. Action standard combo $389. It's a US dollar, but this is Canadian. $489 for the adventure, $473 for mountain and cycling. Hiking is $459. Next amount filming $416. Vlog combo $524. Road cycling combo $458. Okay. Now let me go ahead and go over here, and you can see the standard here, $667, $618, as low as $513. Okay. So it's at least anywhere from $100 to $200 more.
And that's the resellers who are pumping the price up overseas to us U.S. customers.
Yes. Right. So I wanted to get that out there right away. And then of course, we got out there this morning, and for those of us
before you go too far, Bill, I do want to mention that's now on Amazon, and it's selling for about the regular price of $379 on Amazon by the company Aerotech, which they sold DJI stuff before. A lot of people believe they're a shell company or, for DJI, but you could buy it for $379 on Amazon. At least you could an hour ago.
Well, as of about an hour ago, Adorama the base model was not in stock, but the next two models were in stock, and they were shipping. Okay. Now, I know you probably didn't have a chance to see this, but Sean from Air Photography did a review on it, and it was a very favorable type review. Now, I did some looking here. There's a lens that you can buy for this, and it's $160. It's not, when you're comparing it to the cost of the Action 6, it's actually kind of expensive, $160. Okay. And your benefits that you get from it, I mean, it kind of remains to be seen, because obviously,
Bill, I believe they had a macro and a wide field of view lens. They have two different lenses.
Right. And each one is about that. Now that's what they had advertised. I got the price from Adorama as far as that's concerned. Sean actually did a pretty good job here in this article to talk about some of the things. Said you can actually get a true square picture here because of the sensor.
And that's not a new innovation. GoPro had that on, I believe, on the 12 and the 13 both. They had that you could go that square thing so that you could decide and post whether you wanted a landscape or a portrait video. So that's new for DJI, but not new the action cameras.
Now, it also 4K 60 frames per second horizon leveling finally arrives here.
Yes. I think it was limited to 2.7K on the
right.
5. Yeah.
Exactly here. And talk about the variable aperture, FPV drone performance. He monitored, he said on, I believe he said he monitored it on his Avata to test it, and there's a picture of it right there.
I do, yes.
Automatic lens detection system. So when you buy these lenses and put them on, it makes all the adjustments automatically. You don't have to do anything as far as that's concerned, which is nice. It detects right away that we've removed it, and again, we put the camera back to the normal settings. All right. Versatile macro lens capabilities. ND filters and creative film tones. You can see there's the ND filters on there as well. Storage and new field of view options here. Gesture control and updated magnetic mounts. They've added a lot of features on.
Catch up, Bill. The Insta360 Ace 2 Pro had gesture controls on its model last year, so some of this is playing catch up.
Yeah, exactly. So all in all, okay. When you look at it from the standpoint, all right, and just for argument's sake here, let's talk 379. For the standard one, and from what the 5 was and the 4 but previous to that, and the upgrades here and the benefits. All right, if you're a serious photographer And if you use your action cam regularly, and especially, and also too, for me, I use it for B-roll and vlogging. If you're using it for any of these kind of capacities, this is actually a benefit for you. Okay. The pluses that you get from the gains on this, are incredible. And for what you're getting for the price point, all things being equal, saying it's the real price point for getting the whole.
Yeah, and the 379 is a lower price point than the 5 Pro, so they've actually lowered the price on this, Bill.
Exactly. So, all in all, I think it's a good deal. I think it's something people should pursue. But, conversely, I'm going to say that you want to stay off eBay. All right. Because like I said, and like I showed you guys, they're $100 to $200 more right now. And also I want to pass on, and I'm sorry, I forget the gentleman's name. I'm friends with him. Anyway, from our advice last week about waiting to buy the Neo 2, he did wait, and it ended up, the one he had bookmarked and saved went down $50 by Friday. So he waited until the price went down, and then he bought it then. So he sent me a note of thanks on that, which is great. And here we have Mr. Neo 2 himself, Johnny,
welcome in.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey,
Johnny. Have you received your Action 6 yet today?
No, I was looking at that. No, it's not really something I'm interested in, but yeah, it's I know, Ron, I was at the Canadian US site today. That's why I think I texted you earlier, said it's available, but no, it's not available on the US site.
So I was on the road almost all day, so I didn't get to respond to main message, or I didn't get to watch any videos on this yet. But I did read a little bit during the course of the day. And Bill, I'm going to go back. It has aperture, the lenses. I mean, all that stuff's great, but for me, when I get an action camera out, I kind of want to know, it's a no frills device for me. It's not the type of camera that I'm really wanting to change lenses on or worry about setting aperture. And that's just me. Somebody may utilize all those features, but Bill, it's a little bit more than I want out of my action camera.
Yeah, it's interesting, Ron, because I've seen a lot. I went out to Twitter X today to see some of the reaction, and kind of a mixed bag of reaction as far as the Action 6 is concerned. I think this is going to be one that people are going to want to watch review videos on, and watch the video that comes from the Action 6, maybe compare it to, say, they have the Action 5 or the Action 4, and compare the two and see what the benefits are. Now one of the things that the Action 6 will benefit you is if you do a lot of sunrises and sunsets, okay, with the low light, that new sensor is really going to come into play in a huge way for you guys, and it's going to be very beneficial for you. I mean,
Bill, is it the same sensor that's in the Mini 5 Pro? Does it have the same one over 1.1 sensor as the Mini 5?
One over 1.1. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's the same.
I think they both have the same stops at dynamic range. This claimed 13.5, and I think that's what the Mini 5 claims. So I think this is a very similar sensor to what we got in the Mini 5 Pro.
No, I think so too, Ron.
Oh, but this is with the square crop being different, though. The Mini 5 Pro did not get the square crop.
Ron,
which is an option. You don't have to square crop it if you want to. If you don't care about the square crop, put it in landscape and never change it.
Are you getting one, Ron?
Well, I mean, I'm still looking things over, and like Bill was talking about seeing reviews, but Bill, here's what I want. Not only do I want to see the reviews of the people who got it sent to them, right? But I want to see the second round of reviews in a week or two for the people who bought them. Sometimes, Bill, I get as much out of those reviews of people who bought them themselves than I did out of the paid review.
You kind of know what they might say,
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I'm in no hurry to get these things. I mean, Bill, you have an 85-degree day here, and Johnny, you probably a nice day too. But I'm getting the type of year. It's early winter's already here. I'm not going to be out flying the Neo too much in the near future. I'm not going to be out filming that much with the Action 6 in the near future. So there's no sense of urgency to pick these devices up because I'm indoors most of the time now, and I don't do any indoor filming or flying. So I'm going to wait things out.
This guy right here gets one.
Yeah.
Idaho quadcopter.
Yeah. And I told Bill earlier, we said this last night too, I kind of want to keep my wallet in my pocket until I see what these other drones are supposedly coming out have to offer. And of course, we got a pocket for a rumor. So, Bill, I can't afford to buy everything that's coming out. So I want to sit on my money until of all these devices, which one is the one I'm going to use the most?
Yeah. Oh, that makes a lot of sense, Ron. It really does.
A lot of products coming out, Ron. And you know what? Looks like we're going to end up paying a little more for drones. That's for sure. So,
I mean, they held the line on the pocket. On the Action 6, Johnny. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
But you mentioned the Neo 2 I mentioned before you got on. I mean, I paid like $269 for my Neo 1 or whatever, the drone and the 3 batteries. But now, basically, I'm in the $500 ballpark now or whatever. So I'm double. So it's not an impulse item anymore. You really got to think because look, I could take that same 500, say that that new anti-gravity drone is 1,000. Well, I got half that paid for if I don't buy the Neo 2.
Yeah,
well, speaking of the Neo 2, we're going to take a look at it here. We've really kind of talked a lot about it, and that's one of the big reasons why I wanted to have Johnny on tonight, because he's one of the only ones that's actually had some hands-on with it. Yeah,
I've had hands-on and tires on. Yeah,
that's what we heard here. So yeah, Johnny, just obviously not the tire part, but everything else. Up into that, how's it been for you?
Yeah, I really only had I had got it that the evening before and flew it at night a little bit. And that morning, I did a little quick walkthrough through the cemetery mausoleum there, and it did great. That video worked really good. I mean, it came out the door off the office and followed me out, and but I just think some upgrades. Of course, the camera, the obstacle avoidance. The little, and I'll fire it up here. I think I showed it last night, but you can see the little screen right there.
Yeah.
You can actually see, what you're in pretty good. So that's pretty cool. And I actually, I just got something, and I'll show it up. I actually got the module in because I had ordered this module to go with this, because now I've since ordered a Fly More. But this module, man, it is tiny, and what it is, it's just a USB-C that plugs right into the USB-C of the drone, and it's got 4 screws that hold it on.
Do you get a little screwdriver with it, Johnny?
No, yeah. Well, that comes with the drone.
Okay.
So, but it's pretty neat, and it's small. I mean, it's the size. Basically, everybody knows what these things look like, right?
And Johnny,
here.
you need that to fly with the controller and the goggles, right?
You do, yeah. It will not work with the RC2. It won't work with the motion controller. But it is tiny, very light. And of course, this is the box right here. Digital transceiver is what it says.
Wow. Wow.
And I think
you got that off eBay, Johnny?
I did get this off eBay. It was, I think, $42 when I bought it.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and I think they're actually cheaper. Would be cheaper, but we can't get it. Of course, I had the whole Fly More kit coming with this. So I had bought it originally to get, with this, because I had the goggles. And a lot of people, that's the good thing about this drone. I think the ecosystem, a lot of people had the goggles, they had the motion controller, whereas before, you was buying a really cheap drone and spending $500 on goggles. But a lot of us do have the
gear
stuff to buy this with. Yeah. So.
Of course, I see that dongle being a little con. I really don't like that you have to attach a external dongle to work with a controller. So to me, that's a con from the Neo.
Yeah, and I will say these antennas, they're very stiff. I mean, if you hit something, it's gonna pull the whole drone over, in my opinion. I mean, they're flexible, but not very flexible. That's for sure. So
yeah, I see that device as a con.
But
Ron,
But
Ron, did you order one?
No, like I said earlier, I'm kind of sitting back waiting to see.
Okay.
All these devices. Like today, I'm looking things over. I don't know. I'm 50-50. I may want the Action 6 more than I want the Neo 2, and I may want the Pocket 4 more. I may want the Avata 360 more. I may want that Insta3. Again, I don't want to spend, and I don't want to have buyer's regret, Bill. I don't want to buy now and wish I saved the money for something better coming up.
Right. Now, one of the things that I want to say, and it's for you as well as everybody else out there, is, once December 23rd hits and going forward for next year, and we're going to talk about this here in a minute, we don't know where things are going to be. So that's why I've been stocking up the pantry. Okay. I'm preparing like we have a hurricane coming. All right. And I've gotten extra batteries, and I'm going to be doing a video on that, and accessories, chargers, charging bases, all that kind of good stuff, extra batteries, and a couple of goodies that I'm going to share with you guys. But that's why I'm going ahead. I'm probably going to go ahead with Adorama and do the Action 6 and get that. I'll sell the Action 5. I have that right now, so I can kind of recoup that. Pocket 4, I'm probably not going to be interested in, because I don't have a use case for the pocket cameras. That's kind of just where things are. And then an Avata 360, that doesn't interest me at all. So, so I think that's where I'm at right now. But
Bill, before we get too far going here, Casey Crime Fighter has a question for Johnny in the chat.
Yeah, I was just reading that. I mean, I would say, be honest with you, I would get the Mini 5 Pro before I bought the Flip or the Neo 2. That's just my opinion. You got a better drone and a lot better for what you're going to end up doing with the Mini 5
the
Pro.
Mini 5.
Yeah, the Mini 5. Yeah,
because he still has a Neo 1 to Flip, so he still has 2 selfie drones, right?
Yeah.
I mean, how many selfie drones does one person need, right?
Yeah, and I mean, these drones are, I mean, I say this is a little bit of, it's not maybe as gimmicky because we know how to fly it and it is selfie, but you can fly this. You don't have to buy anything but the drone right here. If you just want to buy this, which that's a great option for somebody that wants to do that kind of stuff. But if you want to fly an FPV, well, you need the goggles, and of course you need the transceiver here. So hey, get the Mini 5 Pro, and man, you'll be you'll have one of the best drones.
The Mini 5 Pro is the only drone you own. You'd be in hog heaven, right?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Well, just to kind of wrap things up, as far as the Neo 2 is concerned, I got a good deal. What I thought was a good deal on it compared to what the list price is, by waiting a few days, which I told everybody else to do, which is really borne on. And I'm actually,
you don't have it yet?
It's coming Thursday. It's ironic because Mike Wright posted his is in Memphis, and his is supposed to be coming on Thursday. He probably ordered from the same guy I did, because mine showed FedEx shows it's in Memphis, and it'll probably be here Thursday as well. So
yeah, mine's in New Jersey. Ron has mine up in New Jersey, but it's coming to Memphis, and then it will come here. So
yeah, that's kind of the way things are for that. So, but I wanted to go ahead and touch base with that. Now, one of the things that I wanted to go ahead and talk about right now, December 23rd is coming here, and I put out, and I want to spend some time on this because I think it's actually, this is pretty good. And this is a video, and I'm obviously I can't play it, but it's Vic Moss, and this is a little bit different here. And here's the actual video itself, and I have links in the description for this. You really need to watch this video, and more importantly, okay, is there are links here that I'm going to show you guys.
Is this something he just put up in the last, say, 24 hours, Bill?
No, this actually came out. I'm trying to remember. I think it came out November 6th. Okay. But basically, what he's asking people to do is to, again, fill out a form letter. Now, it really isn't. I use ChatGPT to help me. Okay, and to send it to the chairman of the committee, and the chairman of that committee is Ted Cruz, and then there's another senator, and I forget her name as well too, from the state of Washington. So and I'm going to go ahead, we're going to go ahead and flip this link here, and it's not going to let me do that. Let me go ahead and get this up here.
That was actually down today, Bill, so if you're trying to click that link, I saw Vic actually say something about that today, I believe. So
yeah, let me go ahead and see. I'll see if I can bring that up. Okay. Tell Congress agencies must conduct a drone security audit here. Okay. Now, it says last year Congress passed the National Defense NDAA with a provision called Section 1709, which directs a national security audit to undertake a security analysis of DJI on intel drones by December 23rd. If that was all it did, the drone community would fully support it. We need to know the drones we use every day are safe. However, if the review is not done, DJI Neo drones will be automatically added to the list that would prevent you from purchasing new models. Guilty without evidence is not the America we believe in and would have devastating consequences for our industry. The deadline is fast approaching, and reports suggest that no security agency has begun the process of the security audit. However, Congress and President Trump can still do something to prevent this. They can modify the provision by adding an amendment to this year's NDAA to delay the deadline date, appoint a single agency in charge of carrying out this analysis, and ensure the results are made public. This will provide clarity and time and make sure that DJI and Intel are given a thorough assessment rather than listed by default. Americans deserve the results of a fair audit, and it's quick and easy to write your members of Congress and tell them to extend Section 1709's deadline to provide a clear picture of drone security to the public. All you have to do is fill out the short form provided. It only takes a few moments. It'll automatically match you with your members of Congress. Congressional offices value personal stories, so we encourage you to share how you use your drone and how you might be impacted if you could use that. Time is running out, so submit your letters today. Please use a personal email address for this as well, too. Now, what else I did in this, too, and Vic has another article, is that I emailed the chairman of the committee, which is Ted Cruz, and then there's another senator as well, and he gave some excellent verbiage on that, and I think this actually may be in the video here. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and bring these links back up in the video. And, I can tell you this, guys, this is important stuff. Okay. And, as long as there is a breath, we have, we're able to do this here. Now let me go ahead and do this here. All right. Now this is what I ended up using, and I'm going to bring this up here. And this was a great bullet point that either Vic or somebody from their organization put together. And this is basically what I used. I changed some of the wording in here to kind of make it my own. And one of the other things that I did with this as well, and let me go ahead and share this here. All right. And it's great. I mean, it really hits and highlights a lot of these bullet points. And again, these links are in that video that Vic has posted right here. The audit doesn't happen. Thousands of companies that rely on drones for their livelihood will eventually go out of business. The drones mentioned in Section 1709 account for over 90% of all drones currently used by businesses, both small and large, across the country. There are currently, as of 11/25, 481,760 people have taken and passed the remote pilot exam and now in possession of the remote pilot certificate. Even if only half of them are currently using this in a business, that's almost 250,000 businesses that will be adversely impacted by the FCC ban. Okay. And this goes on and on and on. Now, he provided, some email addresses here, and it ends up these email addresses are kind of like out of date. But I went out to the Congressional Register. I actually found the one for Senator Cruz and then the one from the senator from the state of Washington. And I was able to get kind of cut and paste and put this in here. And ChatGPT really helped me out a lot. And one of the things that I can tell you, if you guys want to pursue something like this, which I highly recommend that you're doing, because I know a lot of you are frustrated and you want to be able to do something. This is something tangible that you can do. What I did was I put together an introductory paragraph along the lines of, I've been a Part 107 pilot since 2017. I have a drone channel on YouTube that is educational in purpose in nature, and we discuss all the latest updates on a weekly basis. I personally know of people who have used drones for veterans who have used that to help with PTSD, something along those lines. Make it personal, make it relatable to you. The last thing that you need to do is go on a rant in one of these. All right. Yeah. Use what Vic has supplied here as a guide, especially this right here. I pretty much used a lot of this verbatim. Okay. Because this was excellent. These are excellent talking points. And I crafted it into my own email. It took me about 4 hours. I spent about 4 hours doing this, but I thought it came out really well. ChatGPT corrected it for punctuation, spelling, all that kind of good stuff, and it flowed real well. So I ended up sending this whole thing to to that drop down list that I showed you earlier here, and that includes the White House, President Trump, my congressman and my 2 United States senators, one who happens to be Rick Scott. All right, but anyway, this is something.
Rick will read that email over real good, Bill.
Oh, I am sure he will be doing that as he's sitting under a palm tree, and sipping on a margarita. Okay?
He might ban emails in the state of Florida. That's what.
He might start doing that. He absolutely might just start doing that as well here. So, just as a side note, just to let you guys know, you know what they're doing now here in the county that I live in. All right. If you go speeding in a school zone, obviously, during school hours, but they're catching people on weekends too.
Oh,
and they're finding them.
Oh, wow.
They have cameras there now, and they're catching people. I'm like, whoa.
It should be on only the posted hours of a school zone.
Yeah, that's why I think that's going to get legally challenged. But that news has dropped recently, and people
if
are
they
like,
get half the people to pay the tickets, that's what they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But with all of this here, because I get a lot of comments each week after we do these videos, a lot. All right. And a lot of people are frustrated. A lot of people are upset, what can we do? And, it's a hopeless cause and Big Brother is going to force us down our throats. And, I get the whole gambit of stuff. Okay. I get everything, there's some comments, unfortunately, that I have to delete because, maybe a little too overt politically in nature, or, using 4-letter words that you shouldn't. I mean,
Bob Casey makes a good point a couple back. I don't know if he.
Yeah, he did. He did.
If you just sit back and say nothing, that's what's going to happen. So he's right about that.
Bill. Bill, in the bigger picture here, say everything goes bad. The 23rd happens. No reviews are done. Then say after the Christmas holidays, the worst things happen. All sales of new drones are banned by DJI, all Chinese drones, however you want to say it, and nobody can get their hands on any Chinese drones next year, and maybe even people have to stop flying certain drones. Will people kind of wake up at that point, and say, "Oh man, they really did this," or whatever? And even more than just drone pilots themselves, maybe even other people who can't get their roofs inspected now, or they can't get their real estate photos done in their house or whatever. Do you think it'll be a big wake up to people come next year if all this goes through as worse as we think it is, Bill?
I think so, Ron. I think a lot of people are, I don't want to say ambivalent to it. I don't think a lot of people are educated. I'll use the word educated. I don't think, all of us are educated. Okay. Yes. All the guys in the chat, Drum Nation, Johnny Show, Ray's show, Bill Thomas's show, people that watch that are in the know and are educated, and we know what's going on. Okay. We have an idea.
But I'm talking, but what about the weekend warrior? We'll call him the monthly warrior, who has an inexpensive drone, say the Mini 4K. He goes out and flies it once a month at the park, whatever. He has no idea any of this stuff's going on, Bill.
Right. No, they'll know. They'll never. If they won't know until somebody tells them they can't fly their drone anymore or whatever. Right.
And that, and I'm going to say, us people that know all the rules, know all the news come up, are we the minority here? And the guy that just flies once in a while, is he the majority? And for the drone flyer community,
I think on a whole, Ron, we're just we think we're a large community, but we're really not. And I think that's, is it too late, too little, too late? I mean, probably, but, if you don't sit back and do anything, then we had no, we hardly have a voice now, but, it's got to be heard what little faint voice that it might be,
I think of
Richard's comment there will eventually be U.S. made drones, and we know how slow things goes with the government. When the government says something's going to happen, you can 5-10 years can go by in a blink of an eye, right, Johnny?
Well, I think there will be some USA made drones, but I think they're all going
consumer. Let me put the consumer in there. I don't care about $50,000 enterprise drones.
Right.
Will there be consumer grade?
No, they have no reason to build something like this. I mean, it's just not. It's a small market. They're going after. If this drone costs $200 a build and can sell it to the government for $10,000, that's what they want to do. Yeah. Hey, I don't blame them on that part. But as far as getting like a Mini 5 Pro from a U.S. builder, it might take 5 years, and if it does, it's going to be up to maybe what a Mini 2 was 3 years ago, you know?
Well, you know, I want to relate a couple of stories here that actual true stories here. Okay. You guys probably, and I'm sure a lot of you heard Eddie Rickenbacker, the famous World War I airplane ace from the United States. Okay. He was out in World War II. Okay. He was out flying on a B-17 that had a ditch in the Pacific Ocean. All right. And what they did was, you know, when those planes ditch, and when you understand if you do a ditching right, the plane will float for a while. All right. And they weren't sure how long it floated, but they left a lot of valuables. I mean, they got some of them into the rafts, but they didn't get all of them. And he realized, you know, it was sat up there for almost 10 minutes before it sank, and they could have grabbed a lot more supplies. They all ended up getting rescued. But the moral of the story was, you know, there was still hope. There was still time to get this done. All right. The other story that I want to relate to you guys is this, okay, is our incredible federal government. Just absolutely, absolutely incredible. All right. My ham radio license was up for renewal. Okay. Now, as we all know, the government shutdown has ended. You know, it's been signed into law and all that kind of good stuff. And everything's operating. Okay. So I decided to go out before I go out to the website. I decided to go out and check what FCC says on Twitter. We're back up. We're running. Everything's fine. No problem. All right. So I go out there on Sunday to check the link. Okay. I didn't get the 404 error. I got another page up here and I'm like, what is this? And everybody was saying the same thing. They were getting that. Okay. The same thing. All right. And it's open. And the chairman of the FCC, who we all know of by name now. Okay. You know, everybody was plastering him out on X saying you're open for business, but this is what we get. All right. And here I am, because renewing a ham radio license, it's a once in a 10-year event. You just got to do it once every 10 years. But the process, okay, I was able to get on and do that today. But let me tell you this, okay, software from 1990 was more advanced than the software that I was using today. Okay. Some of these text boxes on my desktop were no bigger than this. Okay. It was ridiculous. And then, okay, like 4 different screens to answer one question. All right. And then to go ahead and pay for it, it takes me to a completely different system. Okay. I have to log out of this system, get into another system, use a special ID that I've set up. Okay. Go ahead and pay that. Then hopefully it takes me back to the other system to show that I've actually paid for it, and that I can print off my receipt, which I did. I mean, it's ridiculous. You know, this isn't the 1980s here. You know, we're in the
Thank you, Brandon Carr.
Yes.
I mean, my gosh. I mean,
how
seriously.
many years is that good for? A couple years, or is it a year?
It's good for 10.
Oh, okay.
My ham radio license, which is nice because, you know, it's like once every 10 years. That's all you got to do, which is
hopefully
really
Brandon
nice.
Carr is long gone by then.
Yeah. And then you don't have to, what's nice about ham radio is I don't even have to take another test or anything. Okay. Once you pass all these tests, it's for life. Okay. You just have to pay $30 every 10 years for it, which is a real bargain kind of a thing. But in relating it to all of this, okay, and I'm trying to say, you know, the federal government, you know, and I'm not talking, you know, political sides, Republican or Democrat or anything. They are so up. It isn't funny. All right. It's ridiculous. All right. And we all know, you know, we've hashed this around 1,000 times. Okay. We all know that, you know, as my dad used to say, you know, it's like day old fish left on the counter overnight. Okay. We all know why it's really stinking. Okay. And this whole mess about the drones. We know that. We get that. We understand that. But what I'm saying is, with this letter from Vic Moss and doing this, all right, it's, you know, is it futile? It may be, but you know what? For me, I look at it this way, that I went ahead, you know, and I did something extra above and beyond the Call of Duty right here. You know, we don't know that at the 11th hour and 59th minute, something may happen. That's what
you want to go down fighting, right?
Exactly here. Yeah. You know, you don't know.
But
And
you know, the difference here, I think we all kind of knew that Twitter, or well, X, whatever it is, would get that last minute stay. But the same feeling, you just don't get the feeling with this situation.
Yeah. TikTok. He meant to say TikTok.
I mean TikTok, yeah. But so you know, it's just you just don't get the same feel. You just feel like it's kind of a done deal already. But we still can fight, you know, and still don't want to give up. I mean, like a lot of people, I know, Ron, you do a little. I mean, you don't make a living off your drone stuff, but a lot of people do, and a lot of people, you know, invest lots of dollars in those drones.
And of course, I already have a bunch of drones, so you know, as long as they don't brick my drones or come take them, I'll still be doing real estate stuff for years without getting a new drone. But what about the new guy that just wants to get into it? He won't have a chance to make a little money doing because he won't be able to purchase the drone.
No, what do they do with a lot of this? You know, there's a bunch of schools that do that and invested in, and you know, I mean, police departments, fire departments, first responders. I mean, there's millions of dollars invested in these drones that, you know, I mean, look what they did in the state of Florida, Bill. Of course, that was a couple of years ago now that, you know, he kind of banned them really before all this even kind of, I mean, it was the very beginnings of chatter about banning drones, you know.
And Chris, to answer your question, I did get a response from both the senators, and it was pretty much a canned response. Okay. Is what I got from them. And I got a response from my congressman. All right. I didn't get a response from Scott or from our other senator, Ashley Moody. So just to let you know, but I did get a response from Ted Cruz's office, and also the other senator from the state of Washington. And I'm sorry, I forget her name. I apologize.
You know what kind of did my letter in real quick is like when I pulled up my senator who has an office here in Hammond, and when I pulled up her picture, her picture is with Stefanik on her page, on a welcome page. So I kind of felt I was already behind. But hey, I did send a letter and did get a response. It was more of I'll say a form letter, but I actually know one of her. I don't know what they call him. He
well, you know, one of the things that I want to keep talking about and keep pushing until the 11th hour and 59th minute is to go ahead and stock up and supply up, you know, as much as you can on batteries, on props. You know, if you want to buy another drone right now, you know, do it. Go for it. You know, because, you know, once the ban hits, we really don't know. We're in uncharted territory. We don't know where things are going. You also need to listen to this, and this is really important. You need to download DJI Assistant 2 for consumer drones. When you go out there and look for that, it's important that you look for the DJI Assistant 2 for consumer drones, because if you don't type consumer drones on there, you're not going to find the right one. And I've posted links before for that, but I'm going to try to find that and get that posted in there as well too, because that'll be a method anywhere you're at in the world. You download the app and you log in, and you should be able to download any firmware update for any consumer drone that DJI has out there. It doesn't matter.
Another tip, Bill, if you were on a firmware that you like, works good, there's no bugs, don't update. Just stay on a known good firmware too. Come up around holidays. Bill, before we switch over to Steel Nation, can I just bring one I thought it was an interesting thought, Bill. Today we woke up, right? And the Action 6 is advertised right there on DJI. We can see the specs, we can see the little promo videos, but of course there was no button to buy it. But it's a trend now. When DJI releases a drone, it's not on US website at all. There's no pictures, there's no mention of it at all. But when they release a non-drone item, it is there on their US website. You just can't buy it. Now, that's a trend that's been happening. Now, do you think behind the scenes, DJI is maybe they've given up on being able to sell drones in the US, but maybe they're still working with the government to be allowed to sell their non-drone stuff going forward? I mean, I'm just making all that up, but it's got to be a reason why they're letting us see their non-drone products on the US website.
Yeah, Hot Rod Indy just posted something real good too. Get a VPN. So if you guys need to do it. VPNs are very inexpensive. Go out there and find one.
And this may not work forever, but you don't have to get that complicated. Just go to their homepage, because I've done this for the download. What do you call it? The correction LUTs for your drones. Go to their main US page. Go down to the bottom corner, not the store. This is the main page. Go down to the bottom right-hand corner and change from U.S. to any other store, Canada, it doesn't matter. Anything that's in English that you could read, change it, and all the stuff's all right there without any VPNs or without downloading the app Bill's drone talk about. Just change the website to another country. You can go and get anything you want.
I think you'll always be able to get an assistant too. I mean, I downloaded an upgrade yesterday for the goggles, Integra. I mean, I just think because even to activate 04 air units, 03 air units, you got to go up there, So I don't know. I think that might be there for a while, but who knows? We don't know what we're facing.
John, cameras are not available. That's correct, but you can see them on the DJI website. The drones you cannot even find them on the U.S. website, but the cameras are there on the U.S. website. They just don't have a purchase link. So why are they doing that for non-drone? It's not cameras. Any non-drone device is there on the U.S. website, but any new drone is not. So there's DJI's got something going on there. They wouldn't do that.
It's like teasing, the old thing, carrot before the horse, teasing the horse. Here's a carrot, but I can't get it, kind of a thing. That's kind of like what this is. I mean, that's kind of the way I look at it. So, so we're gonna wrap up officially, Rotor Talk right now. We're gonna do our football thing right now. And Aaron Rodgers, the Steelers did end up beating the Cincinnati Bengals.
And Bill, you said they needed to get 5 wins out of the last so many games. They're down to 4 wins now. They're
down to 4 wins now.
And Bill, before we get into Aaron Rodgers, I have to hand to the Steelers their defense, not only against the Bengals last week, but the week before when they played somebody else. Their defense has been on point the past 2 weeks, Bill.
Well, the game against the Chargers, not so much. Okay. But the game against the Bengals,
but maybe I'm going back a couple weeks. Anyways, okay.
Go back to the game against the Colts. They were on point.
Hey, Bill, Ron, I'm going to hop off. I've just got...
Okay, John, thanks so much for stopping by tonight.
Absolutely. Join us tomorrow night on Fly for Fun Show.
Don't miss it,
absolutely, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
But again, the defense, I think since their bye, Bill, the defense has gotten more what they envisioned it when they signed all those big talent. The pass defense coming together. I think their run stopping better. I think they've made strides on the defense.
Yeah, I agree. I agree on that end. I think they're getting there. I still think they have a ways to go. But
it's no still curtain yet, but it's definitely improving.
Well, here's what I have. I read an article today. They're still evaluating Rodgers. Okay, he did break his left wrist, and that's what's broken. Which is not his throwing hand is his right hand. Right. So they said they can suit him up and he can play. But let me tell you what. Okay, I broke my left hand. All right, and I can tell you that thing. I had a cast up to here. I broke the bone right here, so I had a cast up to here on that. There is no way. He's going. I might eat crow on this. He's going out there. He could risk a permanent injury to himself. Okay, that can't be repaired surgically, and it's not worth it. Okay, Mason Rudolph played
he played well in relief this weekend, right?
Yes, he did. He followed the system. He followed Arthur Smith's system. He didn't stray outside it, and they did pretty good. Then they had that wide receiver nobody ever heard of comes in and just lights it up. I mean, just totally lights it up. I know they could sign him off the practice squad or what. I have no idea, Ron. Never heard of this guy.
They've been saying they need to find another option besides Stallworth.
Yeah. And
did I see the name right? What's the name of their good receiver they got from Seattle?
Sorry,
folks. Sorry, folks. I went back to Stallworth from the 70s. Well, remember Metcalf.
Metcalf. Yeah. Metcalf. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
That's no insult to Stallworth. Stallworth is a heck of a receiver, Bill.
Absolutely. I forget who that guy's name is, but boy, I mean, he played very well, and Rudolph played well too. Okay, he was in the system. They kept things kind of simple for him. But then again, and this is something that I'm telling everybody, Tomlin's out there beating his chest. We win. You beat the next to the worst football team in the NFL. Okay.
Is it that one? I know at one point they were the 32nd ranked defense in the NFL, and there's 32 teams, folks.
Yeah. And then the whole deal about what happened with Chase. Did you hear about that and see that?
Well, he's suspended for spitting at at your $30 million defensive back.
Yep.
But it goes back to the first game when they played a couple weeks ago when Cincinnati, when Flacco toasted that game. They interviewed Chase at the game. Chase had all those catches. They interviewed at the game, and they played a clip of what's the guy in the Steelers defensive back? What's his name? They got from Miami.
Oh.
Anyways, they said before the game he was running around Cincinnati players, and even Chase saying like he was calling himself like I don't know, beating his chest, called himself some kind of name, and Chase said he does that all the time. So I think there's a little bit of bad blood to them going back. That just
I think so too. I think you're wrong. I think you're right, Ron. I think it goes back even further than just this season. Previously, when he played for the Dolphins, I agree. There was something going on there with that. So, but looking forward for them. Okay, he's not going to play. He's not ready to play. Dre had it right. You need both hands to take a snap. You can't take a snap with one hand. Come on, that's not going to happen. All right. Yeah. Let me tell you this. I don't care what kind of
before the NFL. It doesn't work out. The quarterback never plays well if he's trying to play with one hand busted up.
Well, yeah, I remember one year Bradshaw broke his ribs and they tried to wrap him up in a flak jacket and he was horrible. They had to take him out because he couldn't do anything. Right. When they're injured like that, I mean, Ron, you can't put enough protection around that wrist, okay? Because I read how it happened. He fell and landed on his left. He was trying to protect himself and he fell and landed. And it's exactly what happened to me, how I broke my hand. I used my left hand to try to brace my impact. Sure enough, he did the same thing, okay? And no, he's not going to play. You're going to have Mason Rudolph back.
The big question is, Rudolph looked well in relief, but now, of course, the other team's going to game plan for him. And since he's not a full-time starter, they're probably going to blitz him and put the pressure on. Can he handle being blitzed and maximum pressure the whole game?
That's a great point.
And do they have a good enough running game to rely on that and not pass much
to offset that? That's another great question as well.
This isn't the Franco Harris, Rocky Blyer Steelers that could rely on the run game, right?
Well, you know who they're playing this week? Chicago in Chicago,
who's won 6 straight games, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not. This will not. If you're looking for a win right here, you're probably not going to get one. Okay, I can tell you that right now.
They have won 6 in a row, but some of those wins are shaky. They've won a lot of games at the very end, and but they do have firepower. The Bears are able to move the football, so it'll be a test for that Steeler defense.
It really will. And anytime you go to Soldier Field, it's a real challenge. I mean, I actually went there for a game back in 2009. And it's a very hostile environment. Okay.
Is it colder there than Pittsburgh?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Because it's so open there. And that wind you're on the lake and that wind just whips around through there. It's brutal. I mean, we went to a game in December and it was absolutely brutal. I mean,
now if Rodgers is playing, of course, he's from Green Bay, so nothing would bother him.
Right.
Well, no, he's not from Green Bay, but he's played in Green Bay long enough that the weather's not going to stop Aaron Rodgers.
It's not going to stop. But I really, to be honest, Ron, he's not going to play. Okay. Yeah. I mean, they're just trying, Tomlin plays the game. And I understand when coaches play the game, because they have to make a final announcement, right. I think, like as of Friday. So, they're kind of doing that because they want to keep the Bears off balance. But I think the Bears are preparing for Mason Rudolph. I mean, that's really would be
let me ask you the bigger question. If Rodgers has to miss 3 or 4 games, whatever it takes to heal up, do the Steelers have a chance in the playoffs if he misses, say, 4 games? Yeah.
A little chance. Because, I mean, if he's playing 100%, okay, he's very good. I mean, he still has it, even at 41, all right? If he's 100% and he's playing well, not like the Chargers game where he stunk the joint up, but if he's playing like some of the other previous games, like he did against Baltimore, okay, they can hang with most teams, all right? But if he's not 100%, and Dre's got it right, they got to rely on the running game now more than anything, all right? And,
something happened to Warren last week, and Gainwell did most of playing in the second half, right?
Yeah, I saw that. Well, somebody ended up having a concussion. It wasn't Warren, but somebody else a
And
big
they've been
name.
working out Rookie Johnson a little bit more lately, but he hasn't shown too much yet. He doesn't get much on his carries.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, it's just he hasn't had a lot of carries, so it's going to be really kind of questionable on how it all goes down. You know,
Yeah,
I
because I'm sure with what's his name, they're going to have to shorten the routes up. Rudo's probably going to look to throw the ball short more than he's not going to test it down the field as much as Rodgers, right, Bill?
yeah, Jalen Ramsey, Ron.
Jalen Ramsey,
Great.
yep. The $30
Thank
million quarter who was doing so he was doing so bad they had to move him to free safety.
But we'll see. I don't really have high hopes for them this weekend. Okay.
Now, what does your record sit at with that win? Are you 6 wins or 7 wins or?
We're at 7, and Baltimore's 1 game behind us. All right. Look out, the Lamar Jackson train is coming. Okay.
Yeah, but Baltimore they struggled to win. They barely pulled one out last weekend against a mediocre team, right?
Yeah, the Vikings. Yeah, it wasn't pretty, but they got the job done. But as somebody posted, one of my friends, the Lamar Jackson train is coming. Okay, and look out because he'll probably run over the Steelers twice. I do not see them beating the Ravens twice. Not going to happen. No
Dre
way.
says play action will be the Steelers' best game plan. That's true. That's true. A lot of play action.
Yeah, that's what they're going to have to do, Dre. They're going to have to get into a play action and
what's your coach Smith? Your offensive coach Smith. He's got to call a good game this week, right, Bill?
Mm-hmm. Arthur Smith. He needs to bring his A game if they want to have any kind of a chance, because he's going to have to be real crafty and creative with Mason Rudolph there.
And it's too late in the year to bring anybody else in. The trade deadline's over. There's probably nobody out in the street to pick up, right? There's not a whole lot to do this time of year.
Will Howard is actually healthy, and he's listed as the 3rd string right now. Okay. And then their 4th, Skylar Thompson, I think.
Yeah, he used to be
he's on injured reserve.
Yeah.
So he's not even available. So they have Will Howard to back up Mason Rudolph, and then that's it. Okay.
And Will Howard has 0 experience.
Yeah, he's a rookie out of Ohio State, and he has 0 experience. So I don't hold a lot of hope for them this weekend unless they can mix things up real well and disguise things and do a lot of and it's going to be a lot of what I'll call dinking and dunking. It's going to be 5-10-yard plays. You're not going to see these 30, 40, 50-yard flash plays. Okay.
But Rudolph does have enough playing time under his belt that he knows what's going on out there. I mean, he's got the experience, but whether he's got the talent level is the big question.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Ron. And and what's kind of nice, and he's familiar with the organization. He knows what's going on. He knows a lot of the players there, and the players like him, which is a good thing. Originally when they drafted him, they were thinking an heir apparent to Ben Roethlisberger when he retired. But, the first time didn't work. And they let him go. He signed with Tennessee, and Tennessee let him go as well, too. So he ends up signing back with the Steelers. So, but I'm kind of glad that they do have him because he's familiar with the system, knows some of the players, and I'm glad he's there. I hope
the offensive line steps up for him this week and gives one of their better performances of the year. That's what he's going to need, a strong performance from the O-line.
The O-line's going to have to really step it up and give their best game of the year for him, the Steelers, to have any kind of a chance to win. So any other things you'd like to finish before we wrap up here, Ron?
No, just the Action 6 is a lot of what we thought it was, Bill, and not too many surprises this morning. Again, it looks like a solid upgrade. If you have the 5, not sure you really need to upgrade, but that's up to you. Like Bill wants to do it because he may not be able to get another Action for a while, so that makes sense too. And the football we saw last night, we saw the Cowboys come back from their bye week, and the death of Neal and one of their players. It was kind of a big emotional night last night, but the Cowboys came up big. They made some trades at deadline, so they're kind of looked like back in the Eagles for the 2nd straight week. They held Green Bay to 7 points, and they held Sunday they held another good team already forgetting, but their defense has been devastating over the past 2 weeks. If they can continue playing defense like that for the rest of the season, Bill, I could see another Super Bowl return for the Eagles.
You're right. You're absolutely right, Ron. That's very spot on as far as the Eagles are concerned. You know, I think they finally dialed themselves in. The second half.
Detroit, who one of the most explosive teams in the league, couldn't get anything going against the Eagles.
Yeah, which really says that's a statement. That's a statement by the Eagles, which I think is good for them. It's going to bode well for them the second half of the season. So, and I agree with Ron about the Action 6. Neo 2 is out there. Mine should be here Thursday. So we'll do the unboxing and get it out there. And weather's actually
another 85-degree day, Bill, when it shows up.
Yeah, it's been it's really kind of on the dry side. We really need rain really bad. We haven't had a lot of rain here past couple of months. So
let's hope that's not the day you're going out for your test flight, that the rain comes back.
Yeah, I'm kind of crossing my fingers on that. So, but anyway, thank you guys so much for stopping by tonight. Appreciate each and every one of you. As always, guys, it's a great day to fly. Take care. Have a great rest of your week.
Good night, guys.